Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So, as you can see, some progress has been made since the end of the last video. We have cut the floor out. I didn't get any of it on video. I was sort of in the zone getting it done. So, the floor is out. There's still some work to be done, tidying up along that side, and then the cross member across here is the next bit we need to start having a look at. We're gonna, in fact that's the job for today really, is to strip all the paint back. We'll get in there with the wire brush, clean it all up, and assess what we're going to have to replace of that, which at the moment might be most of it, but we'll see once we get it stripped back. The one that runs along here looks to be fairly solid. We might clean that up a little bit and just, you know, poke and prod it and see what we think, but yeah, I'm fairly happy with that. As you may have seen from some of the pictures at the end of the last video, this rail just here, just down here at the bottom, down this back side of it, it's rotten at the bottom pretty badly, but that one will need repairing. So yeah, I think that's it. Right, well, clean that out. It doesn't look too awful bad down this end. It's fairly solid. Once you get up to about we're halfway along, you start to get some pinholes, and it gets worse as we go along, and then obviously that's all definitely gone. The top side, we've got this big hole here, and this whole section here is totally toast. Here is very badly pitted though, and there is a hole all the way back there, so I think we're going to cut it probably about here somewhere. Have this whole panel out. I'm just trying to decide whether how much of this piece I'm going to cut out. I'm thinking I might cut it here and just take that whole piece out, but I'm not sure. But first, we're going to have this panel off. I run a cutting disc all the way down the back and just here, so it's just spot welds along here holding it onto the bottom piece. Once we got that off, that'll free up this area. I can also have a look and see what this cross member looks like on the inside, and yeah, see where we're going to go from there. But it has started raining while I went in for lunch, so I'm now working in the rain. What fun. Yeah, so I will bring you back once I've got this panel off, and we'll have a look what it looks like inside. Right, well that's that piece off. There it is there. I just ground out the spot welds with the grinder. I'm really pleased at how this cross member looks. It's perfect. All this in the bottom, it's just sort of it's stuff that's fallen in there from the other work we've been doing. So yeah, I'm really happy about how that looks. We'll give it a hoover out and we'll give it a thorough check over, but at least initial inspection looks really good, really solid. So yeah, we'll clean it out, and yeah, perhaps we'll I'm thinking we'll either sort of spray some, you know, put a bit of paint in there, or possibly some form of wax just to keep the water from attacking the metal. But yeah, that's really good. So the next bit is this. So yeah, I'll sort of wrestle with that. But yeah, I mean, even this tab looks good for the most part. It's a bit thin here, and sort of once you get up this end, it's quite thin in places. But we'll straighten it out, and we'll see how we go with that. So yeah, very pleased. That's a good net. I mean, there's plenty of good metal, as you can see in this, but you see there's some pretty major rust spots, particularly when you get down this end, and this piece in particular, this area there was pretty bad as well. So would have ended up with a very weird shape. To try and cut just the bad stuff out. You know, even like here you can see there's a very thin bit. There's several of those spots down the line, so had to come out really. And it's very pitted from the top side, so yeah. So yeah, very pleased how that looks. Onto this one, which I know at least the bottom end is completely gone out of it, so I don't know if we're going to be able to salvage these bits. I mean, it's solid from this side at least down to sort of here, but I don't really know what the other side looks like particularly. So I will bring you back when we've peeled some of this apart. It's going to be tricky because obviously it's spot welded along here. I want to cut it off here and get rid of this pitted bit. Everything up past that looks okay. So I want to get in here. I've got to peel it out from here, and then I'm thinking I'm going to run the cutting disc down this corner, and then we'll see what we're doing with that. That might be solid enough we can weld back to it and it's okay, and we can leave it in place. That'll save us some tricky fabrication later. Obviously there's several bends, you got 3 bends in there, which if I don't have to do would be great. Down at this end we might have to remake this whole piece, but we won't know until we get it out. So right, let's get on with it, shall we? We can quit rambling. Right, well that's most of that top piece off. Yeah, don't know how much you can see there, but it is pretty crusty. You see, the whole bottom of this is gone. We're probably going to lose all of it all the way back to there, I'd imagine. It's really how solid are the sides, or are we cutting that whole piece out? I'm not sure at this moment in time, but we will see. It might work out better just to simply replace the whole lot, bend up a whole new piece and install it, and that might be the way I go, but we shall see. We shall see. Yeah. So we're making progress, slowly but surely. It's yeah, progressing. Right, so I want some better access to under here into the cross member and everything. So I'm going to take the wheel off. Trying to squeeze through this small gap is not a lot of fun. So yeah, to make it a little easier, and I won't have to keep climbing all the way over the top to get at it. So yeah, let's get on with it. We'll get this off quickly, and then we'll get back to the nitty gritty of cutting this rear cross member out. Let's do it. Alright, last one. I think I finally got it broken loose. There we go. Why don't you? I'll prevent this one. That might tell you these bastards are heavy. Right. Okay, right. Got a hole saw. What am I talking about? Sawzall. Cut through the cross member up here. Selected a place that looks good, so for that. Cool. Bit of a squiffy cut. Not exactly ideal position to be in. Sort of, I was cutting with the bottom of the blade more than the top for a bit of that, but hey. Right, I think I'm going to take the nail grinder, cut across the top there. we go. That is that out. As you see, I ended up having to cut a section of it off to enable me to cut this piece off, but you can see it is in very sorry state. You know, I managed to bend that. That's completely gone. So I had to come out. Another hunk of scrap metal. Let's get you off of here and I'll show you a bit better. Right, so that's going to be the end of this one. Yeah, we've got the cross member all out. We've got a bit of tidying up to do, cleaning up of edges where we're going to be welding new stuff. There is a little bit in the corner there we need to have a look at, but I'll probably just do that. I'll have a look at that in my own time and decide what I'm doing with that. But next video I think will either be we'll start, you know, we'll either do a bit of cleaning up and then start putting some new metal in, or I'm thinking it's sort of a bit of a side project, I suppose. We'll take the seat base back to the workshop and we'll cut the bottom of that off and weld all the new bottom on that. It might be a nice way just to break up the slog of the main project, so it'd be nice to start playing around with some nice new metal and welding and putting stuff back together, and then video after that will probably come back, and but we'll see. It depends how I feel, depends how things are going. So yeah, thanks for watching. I guess I'll see you next time.